Welcome back. You're watching All About Stocks on ET Now. Thank you so much for staying with us. We must have a quick discussion on the RBI move on Friday evening when they cut the CRR. How are you reading this move?
It's obviously good news because I think that what you do when you cut CRR is that, obviously you're increasing the liquidity, and I think 75 basis is substantial. So I think from that point of view, it is going to mean, I think markets will give this piece of news a thumbs up. But I don't know what it means for the repo rate cut therefore. That what do you do therefore on the 15th? Does this mean that you're not likely to see anything on that? Because I think that was the debate therefore, that whether you would see anything on that. Because I think CRR was more or less a given. I think 75 basis is more than what market was expecting. But otherwise, a lot of people were factoring in that you would see another CRR cut. So I think it's good news for the banks because I think it definitely eases the fund situation at their end, and hopefully you'll start seeing them lending more.
Alright, we have a couple of questions that have come in for you during the week. Let's take a look at some of those questions. Rajesh is nearly 40 years old. He tells us he has Suzlon, 5,000 shares at an average price of 35 rupees. He's telling us that he's willing to hold for 3 to 5 years and he wants to know what he should do with that stock right now. Suzlon ended the week at 27 rupees and 65. So what's your call on Suzlon right now? Every year before the budget, there's some buzz about the fact that alternative energy will receive a tax boost. But do you think something like that will come through?
I don't really think that for Suzlon is going to be anything about, alternative energy getting anything. But the fact that, it's a company that is really got huge debt on their books. And yes, of late we have been hearing things from the management of ways and means in which they are planning to reduce that debt. But I think that it's simply too large, and the way they've gone about the whole thing doesn't really inspire confidence, going ahead. It is... So to my mind, really, even at 27.5 at the current price, it's really recovered from a low of about 20. So honestly, this is a tough question for me to really answer because it's not one of my favorite stocks. But I guess, when you bought 5,000 at 35, you don't really want to sell it at a loss. So I think my only real suggestion would be that when you see markets turn, maybe sell it and try and buy it back lower, and keep doing that till you can average your price to such a level that you can exit safely, but definitely not a stock that I'd keep.
Alright, not a stock that we keep for the long term, Suzlon there. We have another question from Amay. He has 20 shares of NMDC which he bought at 299. He has 20 shares of Unitech which he bought at 248. Now, he says he's had these stocks for 3 years now, and he wants to know if he should sell them because he's had a huge loss. Unitech ended the week at 30 rupees. Now, from 248 down to 30 rupees, that's quite a loss. What would I recommend he does?
In fact, Suzlon has had a similar, or if not a worse, track record. It's just that, the investor is lucky that he bought it at 35, and he's unlucky that he's stuck with Unitech since 248. So I think precisely the same thing. Perhaps for NMDC, you can make a case by saying, like the kind of news flow that you've seen on the mining industry and, all the twists and turns that have happened, that somewhere along the way you saw a big correction coming in on NMDC, and that will correct itself over a period of time. So I think, that's a stock that perhaps you could hold on to. But Unitech is an absolute no from my end. I think he will definitely have to book his loss there and look to make it up in some other stock.
Right, unfortunately, you're going to have to book your losses on Unitech right now. Remember, we did talk about a lot of strong stocks on this show that you can pick to replace in your portfolio. Write to us if you need anything else. You can always send in your questions to the email ID that's at the bottom of your screen. You can also reach us on our Facebook page as well. That's flashing on your screen right now. Well, Shabina, thank you so much for joining us on All About Stocks and answering our questions. We look forward to sitting down with you again soon. Remember, next week is Budget Week. ET Now is going to be here with all of the answers to your questions. You can reach us at any point through the day. We'll be trying to figure out how the budget will affect your finances. Keep watching ET Now.